Relationships are on the top of your agenda this month, Capricorn, and I'll tell you why. If we have a look at the chart and animate it, Venus and Mars in this 8th house of sensuality slash sexuality, with the Sun moving here in your 7th house of relationships. Now, this Mars-Venus is at odds, actually, with your ruling planet, Saturn. So although you've got opportunities for deep and involved relationships, you may be a little frustrated by this opposition. It can put the brakes on and give you reason to have a second thought about things. All in all, however, you're not going to be able to suppress that passion because of the strength of this combination. The Venus and Mars combo is really one of the strongest for sexual and sensual expression. And that's playing out, especially as you see Venus getting stronger and stronger in its conjunction to Mars here in your 8th house. Now, of course, the 8th house is not just about sex. It's also about those resources that you share with other people, the money that your partner may be making, and indeed, during this month, your partner, business or personal partner, may be focusing their attention very much on this, much to the exclusion of you. That's shown by the Venus-Saturn opposition. And then a new approach to be taken there around the 10th, when the new moon takes place here also in the 7th house. That new moon is going to move into this 8th house where all this tension is occurring. So I dare say that with that new moon, you're going to find some new tools to deal with these issues. It makes full contact there on the 12th and 13th, passes over these two planets, and then moves away. The other thing we should note, Capricorn, is this retrograde movement of Saturn, which is your ruling planet, planet responsible for this tension that we were talking about here, and located in your 2nd house of finance. So going back, we see the intimate link between your relationships, and look there at Mercury also making its way into your 7th house of partnership, bringing with it a lot of communication and need for discussion. But the retrograde Saturn showing that you've got to have a rethink about your finances, and in particular those finances that are tied in with other people. Who's doing or not doing their fair share of work in the partnership? I mean financially. Perhaps you're feeling as if you're carrying someone right now, that you want more equity in that relationship. During this transit of Mercury through your 7th house, that is when I believe those communications can take place. The fact that you are rethinking the terms of your agreement are also shown by two other retrograde planets here in this 3rd house of communication and mentality. This is the contracts sector of your horoscope. Notice also Venus moving into that very, very powerful opposition there to Jupiter. This indicates waste, excess, over lavish living, and maybe there's a need to cut back on those things. There's a full moon as well taking place on the 24th. Hello, look where it takes place. Pardon me, back there again in this 2nd house with your ruling planet. So definitely a lot of attention this month, I feel, on your finances and the way those finances are playing out with the people that are nearest and dearest. You can have a wealth of communication on the 26th with the moon transiting across onto Jupiter. And I want you to keep your eye on Jupiter here, because after that opposition to Venus, it's going to retrograde back into, hello, the finance sector again. So you can see when we pick up one transit, then we see the 2nd transit, 3rd transit, all pointing to that one area of finance and money. There it is there on the 29th. It moves into that zone of finance and money. The last day or so of the month, we see the moon transiting back through the fourth house of family affairs and into the fifth house of creativity and speculation. I'd put a hold on the speculative side of things. No harm in allowing your creative impulses to take over, but that must also be in a measured way, because you've got a right angle here from the moon to that eighth house, Mercury and Sun. Mercury has moved into that arena, and it also continues with that theme of shared resources. This is what's called a T-square, all again pointing to this second house, eighth house axis of money, finance, income, and shared resources. So a lot to talk about this month, Capricorn, with your nearest and dearest, or if that nearest and dearest happens to be a business partner. Time to clear stuff up, time to ratify the agreement and start a new phase, which was shown by that new moon, the full moon, sorry, in the second house of finance. There's more on what's happening for you at astrology.com.au. Subscribe here, then travel on over there to our site, and you'll get the transcript of what I've just said here, plus the chronological aspects that can fill in a lot of the holes of areas that I haven't quite mentioned. You might have thought, oh, he's missed out my this or that. It's all over there for you. Don't forget to drop me a note if you need some personal attention. More than happy to give you some personal attention. And I will see you here next month. Fingers crossed. Stay safe. Bye-bye.